Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome back to the Poorly Educated Podcast, the only history show where we learn about the past while still struggling to work the remote control on the present. Today's September 12th, and let me tell you, this day is just plumb stuffed with battles, weddings, moon rockets, and some cave art that makes me feel like my stick figure drawings belong in a museum. So buckle up, crack open a Mountain Dew, and get ready for a ride through time that's bumpier than my cousin Ricky's pickup with three-ball tires. Segment 1, The Battle of Vienna, 1683. All right, first stop, way back in 1683 at the Battle of Vienna. Now, I ain't no military strategist. Heck, last time I tried to play Risk, I ended up losing my whole army to my 8-year-old niece. But even I know bringing 150,000 Ottomans up to the doorstep of Vienna was asking for trouble. The Ottomans thought they were about to take the city, probably already arguing about who gets dibs on the best schnitzel shop. But surprise, surprise, King John III Sobieski of Poland shows up with 18,000 cavalry. Biggest horse charge in history. That's more horsepower than a NASCAR race on free beer night. Picture it. You're an Ottoman soldier digging tunnels, thinking you're about to win, and suddenly the ground shakes like your Uncle Larry's tractor just hit a septic tank. Next thing you know, here comes a wall of horses with dudes wearing wings strapped to their backs. Wings! If I saw that, I'd quit right there. Nope, I'm done. I didn't sign up to fight angels on steroids. And that charge? It smashed the Ottoman line so bad, Kara Mustafa probably invented the first nope rope trying to get out of there. The whole empire starts sliding downhill after that. Moral of the story? Don't underestimate the power of a Polish dude with a horse and some questionable fashion choices. Segment 2, The Battle of Edson's Ridge, 1942. Fast forward a couple hundred years and hop over to Guadalcanal in 1942. Same date, different empire getting smacked down. This time it's the Japanese trying to take back Henderson Field. They thought they was facing a couple thousand lazy Marines. Joke's on them. It was Edson's Raiders sitting up on that ridge like, y'all better pack a lunch. Night of September 12th, it turns into chaos. Japanese coming at 'em in waves, Marines running low on ammo, fighting hand to hand. It was so bad they started calling it Bloody Ridge. If it were me, I'd call it No Thank You Ridge and take the next boat home. But them Marines held the line, even when it looked like they were about to get steamrolled. Edson himself kept yelling, "Hold out one more night," which sounds a lot like what I tell myself at the gas station when I see the beer cooler at midnight. By dawn, Marines held strong, Japanese attack fizzled out, and that one ridge turned the whole tide of the Pacific War. From that point on, Japan was on defense. Goes to show you, sometimes all it takes is grit, guts, and a couple fellas too stubborn to quit. Kinda like my Uncle Randy trying to fix his lawnmower with duct tape. Segment 3, The Lascaux Cave Paintings, 1940. Now let's talk about art. September 12th, 1940, some French kids and their dogs stumble into a cave and find artwork from 17,000 years ago. Horses, bison, mammoths, painted with more style than I got when trying to sign my own name. These paintings are so good they called it the Sistine Chapel of Prehistory. Meanwhile, the fanciest art I ever made was finger painting a turkey in kindergarten. Archaeologists argued about what it all meant. Some said it was hunting magic, some said it was mythology. Me? I think it was the world's first redneck garage wall. You know how we hang deer heads and bass fishing trophies? Cavemen were like, "Honey, I bagged a bison today. Better draw it on the wall so everybody knows I ain't lying." Segment 4, Space Race, Luna 2 and JFK's moon speech. In 1959, Soviets send Luna 2, first man-made thing to crash into the moon. And let me tell you, if I launched something and it crashed, my buddies would call it a failure. But Soviets were like, "Die, glorious success, moon now officially Russian pothole." Then in 1962, JFK goes down to Rice University and says the famous line, "We choose to go to the moon." Not 'cause it's easy, but 'cause it's hard. Honestly, sounds like something my cousin Daryl says right before he tries to jump a creek with his four-wheeler. But the difference is, Daryl ends up in the ER, and America actually landed on the dang moon. Kennedy's speech wasn't just about rockets, it was about pride. He turned "we're losing the space race" into "hold my beer, watch this." And 7 years later, boom, Neil Armstrong doing the moonwalk before Michael Jackson made it cool. Segment 5. Mae Jemison's Spaceflight, 1992. Then in 1992, 30 years to the day after Kennedy's speech, Dr. Mae Jemison goes up on the Space Shuttle Endeavour, first African-American woman in space. Now that right there is progress. She wasn't just floating around taking selfies, she was running experiments, checking motion sickness, studying bone cells, even fertilizing frog eggs in space. Imagine telling your high school biology teacher you were doing frog science in zero gravity. Mine would have fainted. Her flight proves space ain't just for white dudes with buzz cuts, it's for everybody. Heck, if NASA ever needs a test subject to see how much barbecue smoke affects a spacecraft, I'm available. Segment 6. Kennedy Wedding, 1953. Back in 1953, John F. Kennedy marries Jackie Bouvier. Big ol' society wedding, 800 guests at the church, 1,200 at the reception. That's not a wedding. That's a county fair with vows. Jackie wanted a simple French dress, but old Joe Kennedy made sure she wore a giant gown to look presidential. Nothing says romance like your father-in-law picking your outfit. But hey, it worked. That wedding was the kickoff party for Camelot. America fell in love with the Kennedys like they were the Kardashians with better accents. Except instead of selling makeup, they were selling hope, charm, and Cold War politics. Segment 7. Steve Biko, 1977. On the same date in 1977, a much darker story. Steve Biko, anti-apartheid leader, dies in police custody after being beaten and denied medical care. Government tried to say it was a hunger strike, but the truth got out quick. Biko's death made him a martyr, inspiring songs, books, and protests worldwide. That right there shows how power works two ways. Kennedy's building their image with cameras, and apartheid regime destroying itself with brutality. Biko's voice got louder after he was silenced, which is about the most powerful thing a man can leave behind. Segment 8. Haile Selassie and German reunification. And don't forget, September 12th is also when Ethiopia's Emperor Haile Selassie got booted out in 1974. Dude traced his bloodline all the way back to King Solomon, but that didn't stop the Derg military folks from saying, "Sorry, pal, monarchy's canceled." Ethiopia went from emperors to Marxist chaos quicker than you can say Red Terror. Then in 1990, Germany finally sealed the deal on reunification with a 2+4 agreement. Basically, they got all the old World War II babysitters, the US, Britain, France, and the Soviet Union, to sign off and let Germany be one big, happy country again. If you ever needed proof paperwork can end a war, that's it. In conclusion, so what did we learn, y'all? September 12th ain't just a date on the calendar. It's like a Walmart aisle. You got everything from horse charges to cave art, to moon landings to weddings to revolutions. Every event's a reminder that history ain't just something in books. It's wild, messy, and sometimes straight up redneck. From empires falling to folks breaking barriers in space, this date shows us the future can swing on one crazy day. So next time somebody tells you history's boring, remind them September 12th had cave art, cavalry, and Kennedy all in one package. That's better entertainment than cable.